Hi, I'm Patrick Horvath. I am the cartoonist of Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. And I'm based out of Los Angeles, and I'm currently here signing copies of my book from Ankama Press and doing some dedicaces. My first comic book was like Punisher War Journal. It's for this or for like just in general?
Just in
Oh
general,
yeah.
or
So
maybe
like
for this, if you
no.
have to.
So when I was uh, probably around the same age, maybe even like a little older, I started making just my own comics at home, and I would draw them just for friends. And I literally would draw them on the paper and give them my friends the pages, and that we didn't like photocopy or anything. We just gave them the pages, and then we would pass it around and read the comics that way. And so it was something that I knew I could do myself, and I didn't need a bunch of money or anything. I could just go and draw out the thing. And so in like my early teenage years, I would, make these little comics. And it wasn't until like much later that I actually thought about making them for, a wider audience. I also make movies. Um, After the second film I made in Los Angeles, it was a small independent movie. I kind of realized that I missed drawing a lot. And so I started, so like around 2011, 2012, I was like, I started getting back into reading more comics. And I was like, I should really think seriously about making one. And so that was like the first moment where I was like, I need to make a concerted effort to actually practice drawing, get better at my drawing, and then to have an avenue for telling more stories. But it took about another 11 years to have an opportunity to have one with a publisher. Yes, I mean, I was reading comics a bit in my teenage years, and then I stopped until probably around like 2005 or so. And then I started just reading a ton. And then, especially in 2016, I really like when I wanted to make my own with a publisher. I just for like to research and to understand like what people were reading, and also to find out like what other artists were doing. I was reading a bunch. So and that was the time, like around 2000, I finally started reading stuff like Charles Burns, like Jean-Giraud Mobius, was doing like Chris Ware, Daniel Klaus. And speaking of Daniel Klaus, like that is the most recent
Okay.
book I read was Monica, that Daniel Klaus did. I finally had a chance to read that. It's fantastic. I love his
Yes.
work.
Thank you.
It's wonderful. Yeah.
It has a price in Angolan. That's true.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
of course.
First big one.
Of
Big
course, yeah.
price.
I mean, he's a master. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
it's it.
and it's incredible to see. Same thing with Charles Burns. Like, they were already like by the time Black Hole came out,
It
and
was already established.
or like a Velvet Glove Dipped in Iron or whatever. Like, those were like huge moments at that time, and I was aware of them. And then they were already like masters as far as I'm concerned. So like now it's just like it's a treat. It's honestly a huge treat whenever they make stuff. But yeah, so Monica was the last comic I read. What I'm doing right now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the next thing that the work I'm doing at the moment is the second follow-up to Beneath the Trees. It's book 2, which will be coming out in the States in this summer, and hopefully will be coming out in France.
I hope so.
Like
Very, very
early 2026 is the
Yeah.
hope. And I'm very excited about it. I figured out the fear is that when you do a follow-up to something that's worked really well, you don't want to just do the exact same stuff that you knew worked really well, right? So you kind of have to a challenge to find a new entry point into the next evolution of the story. And I found it, I think. So like I'm very happy to say like I'm working. It's hard work, but it's good work.
Thank you very much for your time.
Oh, it's my pleasure.